Yo, Counterattack Podcast to myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that good stuff. Yes, where do I start? It's International Week, so there's not really been much to talk about. But there's going to be a couple... Well, I'm definitely going to touch on the England game. Not really much to say about that. But I also want to talk about the whole Joey Barton thing, you know, because he's really starting to irritate me now. So, but anyway, we're going to talk about that. I'm definitely putting this one out on Spotify and everything. So you guys that are hearing this on audio, like Spotify, iTunes, and all of that, just know that you need to head over to YouTube because I'm putting stuff out frequently, weekly, at least on YouTube. But obviously on Apple and everything, you lot only get, you know, when there's a player here or whatever. So I'm gonna keep putting it out on what do you call it, audio as well. But anyway, we move. So guys, first things first, England game. So England lost to Brazil, obviously, and when I look at that game, I think when it comes to Southgate, people always have some sort of complaint, it seems, and I don't want to be that person, but he doesn't help himself. And I say that because we always knew he wanted to play Jordan Henderson in that game. Jordan Henderson pulled out, he called up Cobby. Cool. No one expected Cobby to start, neither would I have wanted him to start, if I'm being honest. That's cool. But once again, you're coming up against Brazil, who themselves have really, really good players. We're talking about Vinicius, we're talking about Rodrigo, we're talking about Paqueta, we're talking about Yao Gomez, who, hey, good player. I feel like I'm missing someone. Rafinha. Yeah, so we know they have players, but England also have players. And I think when you look at the potential the potential midfield three of Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, and Phil Foden, most teams in world football would look at that midfield and be like, oh, listen, that's a midfield there. But no, not Gareth Southgate. So Gareth Southgate looks at that and thinks, I need to put Conor Gallagher in there. I don't know what it is. And this ain't even about Conor Gallagher. It's more about Gareth Southgate. Just, I don't know. He's got this allegiance to having someone that could just run around and, you know, kick man up. And I don't know what it is. But everyone could see that in that midfield three, Bellingham, Foden, and Rice should be in there. Foden is having the season of his life so far. He's having his best season so far. And now, you know, you're in a position where he can actually come into the team. He can actually be played where he needs to play, whether it be through injuries or people's form or whatever. But no, he sticks him out on the right. Okay, cool. Bellingham's in there. Rice is in there. Foden, he had a nothing game. To be honest, there was nothing that Foden did in that game. I'm not gonna say it's entirely his fault because it's not. My boy Morris was telling me that why would you have that kind of game when you got Conor Gallagher trying to get you the ball and they're never getting you the ball, and when you are getting the ball, it's in areas where you can't really do anything with it. So I don't know why he's doing that in terms of why Southgate done that. You know, Foden, we've seen him playing, you know, more centrally, and it's clear to see that that's his position now. When he was coming up through the ranks or like just getting game time, getting into City team, I understand why they put him out in the wider positions. But we've all seen now that centrally is his position, especially for England, where, you know, they don't have the talent of a Man City throughout the team. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know. Southgate he just always gets it wrong. And we're looking at his record against teams who are ranked in the top 10. I think in the 25 times he's won 4, which is a very, very poor record. And I don't think that's going to change. I do think that's why, you know, like in the next tournament, in the Euros, England aren't going to win, because when it comes down to it, he makes wrong decisions tactically. He makes wrong decisions in regards to personnel, and he just makes wrong decisions in regards to managing games. And again, people can say I'm a bit harsh or whatever, but I have nothing to gain from Southgate doing well. I've got nothing to gain, nothing to lose. I call it how I see it, and he ain't the guy for the job. And you know, he's got out in time in regards to putting out, you know, the thing saying he ain't gonna continue as manager, because even, you know, even with the times he's got them to finals, he's got them to semi-finals, in those moments he hasn't had enough about him to go and get it across the line. And I don't think we're going to see that in the Euros. But in terms of the game, listen, Paqueta, number one, he's a flipping fouler. I didn't know Paqueta was such a fouler until I watched that England game. I think he committed like 7, 8, maybe even 9 fouls. I don't know how he did not get sent off in that game. And I genuinely didn't know if, I genuinely didn't know he was like that. I knew he committed fouls here and there, but what I saw was just ridiculous. He's just committing foul amongst foul upon foul upon foul. But what a player he is. Vinicius, what a player. Vinicius is that player where he can turn it on and turn it off as he sees. I do feel like in that game he played within himself. I feel like he played it like a friendly. He played it like, I'm here to just bubble. I'm not really going to do too much, but you know, if I score, I score. If I don't, I don't. There was a moment where he ran. Who was it? Someone was saying, I think it might have been Foden that was chasing him. And then, no, Rashford, I think, maybe. No, it was first half, so it might have been Foden. And then Conor Gallagher tried to chase him. And he just skipped past both of them. And I was just like, oh, wow. Yeah, this guy is just, it's too easy for him. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, then you look at Bruno Guimaraes. Listen, Bruno Guimaraes, he is my ideal player for Arsenal in that number 8. My ideal player. He is such a good player. Such a good player. But then you look at England and, you know, Bellingham. Bellingham's got some touches on him, honestly. He's got touches. Rice is just what he is. Declan Rice is what he is. And, you know, Conor Gallagher tried, and, you know, I'm not going to say he played badly because he didn't, but that's not the level that you want in there as, like for England right now. Do you know what I'm saying? And then even when Cobby came on, Cobby, Secret Scout said about Cobby mainly that he knew he was going to play well because he plays how he played in the academies now. He maintained it. He never looks flustered. There was a point where he got the ball under pressure. It looked like they were going to get the ball off him. He's managed to turn, get himself out of it, and just play. He is such a good player. And I'm going to stop talking about Cobby now because people are going to think I'm doing too much. And what I also don't want to happen with Cobby Mainoo is that people big him up more than he actually needs to be. I know I've said he likens Seedorf. I don't think he plays like Seedorf in this moment in regards to his output. I'm talking more about style and everything. And he's got a long way to go to emulate anything that Seedorf did. But anyway, but yeah, it was just a game where England didn't really create a lot. You know, there's a lot of sideways passing going on and whatnot. And yeah, no, I always felt like Brazil, especially once they got their goal, I didn't think England had enough to come out and, you know, play and get that goal. I don't think, especially because, listen, Ollie Watkins is my guy, but you cannot tell me that Tony didn't deserve minutes. You cannot tell me that in a game like that, it wouldn't have been good for Tony to come on and get some minutes. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, there's 2 games and he'll probably play a part in the second game, but we'll see. Also, Kyle Walker, I'm not having that. I know you're not injured. Everyone knows you're not injured. So let's not do that, please. Let's just say you came, you didn't want to pull out of the game like everyone else has been doing with their internationals. You wanted to come, I'm captain for the day, you know, warm up, get the game started, do one little sprint, stop the goal. I'm injured. But you've done a job, you prevented a goal. So everyone's going to think, you're really trying your hardest. But no, I know that one, Kyle Walker. I know you're not injured. And I know you're going to play next week. I think this is. But, yeah, England were just doing England things at Wembley. Endrick, decent, decent. I'm not having that. What Joe Cole was saying, he's got a bit of Romario about him. You've seen him for what, 20 minutes, and he's got a bit of Romario about him. Like what is it that you saw Romario? People just be shouting anything just because he's Brazilian. You get me? But no, he looked all right. He didn't look like a world beater, but then again, he's only 17. It's his first game. I'm not expecting too much. I'm not expecting to see too much. I think if he wasn't there, the right place, right time to score that goal, people wouldn't look at his performance and think, oh my gosh, we got a star here. There probably is a star there, but let's not act like we saw that star in that game. But he did well. He got his goal. I'm happy for him. And, if he's as good as they say he is, then Madrid have just got a team for the next 7, 8, 9 years. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to say on that. All right. So, Joey Barton. The thing about Joey Barton, yeah, because obviously in the lead up to the game, Joey Barton was talking about the England players and saying, oh, they all want to be rappers or whatever. And you know what I don't like about the whole Joey Barton thing? Like, if we call a spade, it's rooted in racism. It is. Joey Barton is coming out here, and also he's using that ninja emoji. Like, we know what that is. We know what it is. But anyway, without actually saying any, racist buzzwords, he's getting all of his little EDL and, Brexit Britain, his little fan club. He's getting them out here, like, agreeing with him and saying, yeah, this is England. Why should they be playing for us? And blah, 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 blah. And to be honest, I'm tired of it. And no one's saying anything about in terms of people high up in football. They're leaving him to say what he needs to say. And I think that's a massive problem. I think if you're going to get people on Twitter and social media talking about what Joey Barton's saying, that's all good. But until people who are actually in positions or actually who can actually do something, until you got them saying anything about it, nothing's going to change. Joey Barton's just going to be able to say what he needs to say. Bearing in mind, this is also the person that comes from a racist family. I'm going to say it, racist family, whose family member killed a black man and it was rooted in racism. But then, we want to act like that's just going to get swept under the, we want to act like that didn't happen. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm just sick and tired of it. And people ain't talking about it because people are scared. He's obviously got a lot of time on his hands, so people are scared he's going to come and say something and whatever. But yeah, it's getting to the point where it's just ridiculous. And if you don't think that it's rooted in racism, then we can have that conversation, get in the comments. But it's stupid now, because at the end of the day now, yes, he had earrings on, but I saw someone say Maradona had earrings on when he used to train. And he used to train and not be serious or whatever, but that's Maradona. Do you get what I'm saying? He used to train in like leggings or whatever it is. Maybe they didn't have the earring in or whatever, but there's a couple players there that, it's clear to see what the real problem is. It's clear to see what the real problem is, and no one is pulling him up on it. So, and I think one thing that also annoys me about this whole Joey Barton thing is that you get accused, if you bring it up, you get accused, because he's not said any actual racist words. You get accused of using the race card. But what is this race card? Please tell me. Can someone tell me what this race card is? Because whenever Joey Barton's doing his thing, whenever that guy who said what he said about the one who's attached to Norwich, whatever it was that he said today, that like whenever black people talk about, even if it's not a black person, white people can also say that, oh, that's racist. But it's always the race card. Like, what is this race card? I need to know, because if there's a race card that I could use that could, give me an advantage, let me know. Let me know. Because when you call things out, it's like, oh, you're using the race card. But you know, like, anyway, you guys in the comments, let me know what you guys think of this whole Joe Barton situation. Why do you think people aren't saying anything? I don't like it. And normally I come and I talk about football and it's all lighthearted and whatever, but it's nonsense what he's doing and what he's keeping up with. It's absolute nonsense. Okay, and there was one more serious thing that I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to try to see who it was that said it. The one I just touched on just now about that Norwich, the one that's attached to Norwich. What's his name? So I'm just going to quickly find it. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Oh, let me just try to find it. Okay. So former Norwich City, let me see what he actually said. Basically, Stuart Webber, who is the former, the former sporting director of Norwich, has claimed that Chelsea star and 4 other black players would be in jail if it didn't work out in football. So he's basically, what's his name? Stuart Webber has basically said that certain players like Jamal Lewis, Max Aarons, Raheem Sterling, you know, if it wasn't for football, would be in jail. And I think when things like this happen and when things like this are said, there is a strong bias which is really coming out that is clear to see. And when you bring it up, you know, again, people that say, he's playing the race card, not everything is racism and whatever. And you just go into the comment sections of things and you get people like, oh no, it's true. You're basically saying if it wasn't for football, yeah, they would be in jail. And, you know, some people might say what he's basically trying to say is that it provided them a way out of the streets and whatever. But we know what it really was. And what I want to say about Stuart Webber and his comments on, you know, black people, you know, like Raheem Sterling and that being in jail if it weren't for football, is that all I'm going to say is that if there's absolutely nothing wrong with what he said in some people's eyes, let's replace the blackness part of it, the black part of it, with another, you know, demographic. Let me just say that. Let's replace that. Let's replace it with another demographic and let's see what the outrage would be there. Because right now, the only outrage that happens leads to any outrage that happens leads to him, you know, having to apologize. But he cracks on with his day, to be honest. There's no real repercussions. But if we're talking about other demographics, I'm going to leave you to fill in the blanks of which demographics I'm talking about. It's a much bigger story. It's not going to get swept under the rug. He's probably not going to get another job. He'll get another job now because he's only talking about black people. But, you know, it's not cool. And, yeah, it's not cool. But we move. And, yeah, that's it from me for today. We're back tomorrow. And guys, I need, for those of you that have made it this far into the recording, I need all you guys, I'm going to start up a FIFA tournament, but you're only allowed to use MLS teams. As you can see, I started going to stream again on YouTube. But yeah, you can only use MLS teams, FIFA tournament. If you're on it, DM me and let's get this cracking. Cool. But yeah, until then, I'm out. Peace.